Hey guys, this is Girish back again. Today's guest is very special to me because I've been following him on Twitter for a while and learning from him a lot. And he has been super cooperative today because I was almost like 15-20 minutes late. He's still accepted my request, and here we are recording this discussion with the one and only Noah. Noah, thanks so much. Welcome to the show, 5 Minutes MicroSaaS, where we discuss interesting things about the journey of any creator founder who is trying to do a micro SaaS, or a side project or a side hustle. So, how are you doing?
Thanks
And
for having me.
yeah,
Thanks for having me.
sure. Thanks so much. So, Noah, where are you based out of? And I pretty much follow your creation, that is Potion. And if you could just throw a two-liner about yourself so that the audience could understand, that would be really great.
Yeah, so I'm from Seattle, Washington, in the U.S. And I like to create things, like to build things. I'm kind of like a maker. And so currently I'm building Potion, which is a website builder that's built on top of Notion. And so, yeah, I just like to create products for people that hopefully solve a problem. And I enjoy kind of the creating process and figuring out how to do that well.
Great. Yeah, so I have been following Potion journey, and one thing which I have really seen in that is it pretty much doesn't look like I want to be an entrepreneur, but it pretty much seems like you have been solving a problem, or you found out something which was much needed out there so that others could also start using it. So, how did you figure it out, and how did you get started? And also, is this something which you are completely doing independently into it, or was this something like a side project, or you just got started with
Yeah, so it definitely it started out as a side project, and that's how I like to start things out, just because you're taking less risk to get something started, and you never know when you start something if it's really going to work out. Like, I didn't really know that Potion was going to work out, even though I had a thought and an idea that I thought there was a lot of potential there. But yeah, really how I kind of started was I was looking for a platform to build on top of, because as a solo entrepreneur, I find that building on top of platform can give you some benefits of like not having to maybe market as much. You're building a product that maybe people have familiarity with already because they know the main platform, and that already solves a problem for them. And so then your project is kind of like an add-on kind of to what they already are getting valuable from that platform. So there's just a lot of reasons that I'd liked trying to build platform products or products on a platform. And so I was looking for platforms that I thought made a lot of sense. And I had used Notion for a year by myself at the time. And I had just seen how the community online was just like, they loved Notion. They talk about it all the time, which I just felt like that was a lot of potential of like, if I could build a product in that community that, maybe they'll talk about my product too. And I had also kind of seen that Notion was about to come out with their API or their beta. So it kind of showed that it was like early days for like building on top of Notion. And then I had seen lots of people like trying to create websites with Notion already. Like they were using, I forget what it's called, but there's like this other way, kind of like a background way, where you can like manually set up with code and stuff to make Notion be your website. And lots of people were trying to do that, and like people are already using it. I had actually, funny enough, I like a year earlier had used Notion as like a basic website for one of my earlier projects that I was testing out. And I just used like a Notion page and linked people to it. And so, yeah, I kind of came across that problem of like people wanted websites out of their Notion pages and saw the potential there. So I just kind of decided to go for it, test it out, started building, and that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, interesting. So there's a lesson saying like, don't jump in, just test the waters, see how it goes, and then pretty much make sure that everything falls in place, because it can be more interesting if it is done in that manner. And
Mm-hmm.
it's an actual indie hacker journey what you are really taking up there. So yeah, that's interesting. So they started in 2018-19.
I started it almost exactly a year ago now. So 2020.
2020. Okay, interesting. Okay, so what I have seen in your activities is you plan things really well. So what are your what is your approach? I mean, like you seem to be methodical in your approach. So I think you are a developer and you pretty much develop everything on your own. So give us some inputs or some direction, like how planning, being methodical, and how things should be planned in the right way, where early starters in MicroSaaS or SaaS world could adopt.
So are you asking about planning as when it comes to like planning for the business, or planning for like Twitter, like the content I'm creating there, or yeah,
There are
which
multi
one?
there are multi parts to it, but since I don't want to really take up so much time of yours, so I just want you to give me a highlight of everything in a way wherein it can be generalized and an approach could be followed.
Yeah, so it's funny because in some ways I don't feel like I have a ton of process when I think about it myself, but I'm sure like maybe it does look like that from the outside because I have kind of built maybe just like some knowledge of like how I think is best to like build a business just from my past experiences, because I've built probably like 4 or 5 other businesses. I've been working on side businesses probably the last 5 or 6 years, so it's something I've been working towards for a while, and just kind of build up maybe opinions around like how I think maybe is the best way to build a business. So I think that's definitely kind of helps. But I think, you know, a lot of the things I'm trying to do is built around like trying to create value for people. Because if you create value for people, then, you know, even if they're not paying for that value, that's going to get their attention, and then maybe they'll come and check out and see what you're doing with your business, and maybe it will be something that they'd want. So really just trying to find different ways to build value is what I tried to do. And that's probably kind of more, maybe if I have any process, what it would be kind of created around. And so then that comes to, you know, that affects like how I create content on Twitter, how I build like SEO content for Potion, and then like how I build the product and choose which features to build, or, you know, kind of all based around the value that I think it will provide for the people that are using it and need that. um, and so, yeah, then, you know, I try to do some planning around that, like looking into the future. Like this month, for example, I decided I need to focus some more on marketing. So I just decided it was marketing month and came up with like 10 ideas of things I could do to maybe push towards that goal. And yeah, that's kind of the planning that I did for it. Not a ton. Um, and then, you know, I think it helps a lot to just kind of be learning all the time. You know, learning how to make my product better, learning like what things people value. And I think just being a little active online, kind of seeing what other people are doing in their SaaS businesses. I like to listen to podcasts of other SaaS founders to kind of hear what they're up to. And there's a lot I can learn from that. And so, yeah, I just try to be active in communities online, and I kind of learn as I go with that. And that then, you know, helps me with things ideas and things that I can bring into my own business.
Got it. So value, knowing the audience, then creating a content, and then following the thread and keep going along the path where it really brings in value to everyone. Got it. Uh,
Yeah, that's a good way to summarize it.
yeah, right. So interestingly, not everyone is a fan of building in public. I have seen quite a few of them really trying to take it up as a challenge. And sometimes I feel like numbers are thrown there, MRRs are thrown there, the swag is being shown, and a lot of things, but not in your case, because you have been very genuine about it. So tell me this whole experience and how you think build in public should be done in the way what you are trying to do. So if you can give some explanation, it would really help everyone listening to this discussion.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because yeah, I think people can do maybe build in public in a a wrong way, or maybe just not as valuable way. And I can see how some people could see that, where it's like, oh, you're just like flashing your MRR or just kind of like trying to show off or something. Like that doesn't really help anybody necessarily. So I think the best way to build in public is trying to just really be transparent about what's going on behind the scenes, trying to like share the ups and the downs. Like it's never, I mean, it can be good to show like highlights and stuff. But I think that can also have a negative effect on people, where it could make them feel bad or make them feel like they can't do it. Like you want to kind of inspire people by showing, yeah, you're just like a normal person that's trying to build this business, and really anyone can do it if they put their mind to it and put the effort in. And so I really try to show kind of the behind the scenes of like, what decisions am I making? Trying to be transparent there, maybe show like some issues or things I've struggled through, as well as the good things that are happening. And I think that helps to give the full context and kind of a full picture of what's going on, and that I think can be really valuable to people, because then they can kind of learn like, okay, what's it look like for you to build this business and how things are going. And I think people can kind of learn from that kind of journey. So yeah, that's what I'd say, is just trying to be transparent, trying to show the decisions that are being made, and kind of that behind the scenes. And I think that can actually be helpful to people that are maybe a little behind, maybe on the journey, so they can kind of look up ahead and see, okay, how are people doing it? And so yeah, that's the real goal. Like going back to the value thing, is like trying to create value for people. And I think if you do the build in public thing in the right way, it can be hopefully valuable sharing that way. So that's what I try to do, and that's what I would recommend for people that are wanting to build in public.
Got it. Nicely put, and genuine answer. So not everything can be done by one person, and I think you are reaching that stage. So you have a team member with you, or you outsource some of your work, or is it something like you plan it in such a way wherein you take it up all and you do on your own?
Yeah, so right now, Potion, I do Potion all by myself right now. So I kind of do it as a solo developer. And the only thing that I have had some help with is I had a buddy of mine who we co-host a podcast together. He helped me for maybe 2 months and just put in like, I don't know, maybe 40 hours or something like that over 2 months, and helped me with some features. But other than that, like I've pretty much done it all on my own. And really that's kind of my goal with this business, is to build a business that I can continue to build by my own. I mean, maybe it gets to a point where it's too much for me to handle and I need to hire someone to help me with support or something like that. But at least for the next while, I'm hoping I can kind of do it individually. And so, I have to build out the business in a way that I can support it and do all that. So that's what I'm trying to do. And it's a fun challenge.
Yeah, it's pretty much fun, and it's challenging. Maybe you are calling challenging to be more fun like. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts in on the road ahead for Potion? I mean, like, is it going to be a company, or is it going to be a solo founder kind of stuff? And you reach a goal and then sell it off. I'm just asking some
Yeah,
questions,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, which pretty much
Yeah,
will.
I mean, yeah, for like the future, like I could see running it by myself for a while, and then maybe getting to the point where I need like a small team, and that would be cool. I'd be happy to have a small team. But yeah, I mean, I could see selling it someday. But I think, it's a really fun business, and I really enjoy building it. And part of that, I think, is that I really enjoy the customers that I'm serving. Like I really like hanging around creators, founders, other entrepreneurs, and that's mostly the kind of customer I'm serving with Potion. So it makes it really fun for me, because I get to hang out with those kind of people. And because of that, like I could see doing it for a while. So yeah, it just kind of depends how things go. I don't have like any like major plans. I mean, really, it's just kind of just keep going day by day, and making it better, so that hopefully it will be valuable to somebody if they want to buy it later down the road eventually. So that's kind of the goal. And then like this next year, have lots of plans just to make the product better. And then also to kind of figure out ways to market it better with SEO and things like that to hopefully just make it grow even more. So
Yeah, I would love to see Potion doing interesting stuff. I have some thoughts of my own on Potion. Maybe next year I would be seeing that. So, what do you want to tell to the audience? I mean, like where they can follow you, and if you are wanting any help, you want to share it with the audience, you can do that now.
yeah, so the best place to follow me is probably on Twitter. My handle is Noah W. Bragg. And yeah, basically I do the build in public kind of stuff that we were talking about earlier, just kind of sharing the journey of building Potion. And then I have a podcast called Product Journey where I kind of talk through kind of the decisions and what I'm up to with a co-host who's also building a business. And then I try to like post these like little videos kind of sharing what I'm working on and things like that. I'll post those on Twitter, and then I'll also post them on my YouTube channel. So those are kind of the best places to kind of follow along the journey and see how it's going.
Yep. Thanks so much for sharing all those details. And yeah, I am a big fan of Potion. I wish all the success to Potion and hope we could get with another discussion going next year when you reach 10K MRR, hopefully, and it happens.
Yeah.
And wishing you guys all the best. So, guys, there you have Noah, who is on an interesting journey in building Potion and making it like be successful, build a business with more value to the customers. And I'll be back with another guest next time. Noah, thanks so much, and have a good weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, thanks so much.